timelines, it's erasing them. Complete extinction.
Trionis, you would destroy everything to save nothing. You do not belong.
The Transformers saga has always revolved around the idea that Earth is more than just a battlefield. It is a crossroads where ancient machine civilizations, human ambition, and cosmic destiny collide. In the 8th chapter of the franchise, the story expands that idea further, pushing the conflict into a phase where survival is no longer just about choosing sides, but about understanding the true cost of endless war. The world introduced in this film feels older, heavier, and more scarred, shaped by years of battles that humans barely remember clearly, yet continue to suffer from indirectly. The movie positions itself as a turning point, suggesting that the age of simple hero versus villain confrontations is over, replaced by moral uncertainty and consequences that can no longer be ignored. At the center of the story is Optimus Prime, a leader burdened not only by responsibility, but by doubt. He has fought countless wars, made impossible choices, and sacrificed allies for the greater good, yet this time the threat feels different. The war between Autobots and Decepticons has fractured into smaller, more dangerous conflicts, with rogue factions pursuing their own visions of Cybertron's future. Optimus is no longer certain that his presence on Earth is protecting humanity. Instead, he begins to question whether the planet has become collateral damage in a war that should have ended long ago. This internal struggle defines much of the emotional weight of the film. The human characters are no longer passive observers caught between clashing giants. In this installment, humanity plays a more active and divided role. Governments, corporations, and underground groups have spent years studying Cybertronian technology, reverse engineering weapons and machines that were never meant to be understood by human minds. Some believe this knowledge is Earth's only defense against extinction, while others see it as a dangerous obsession that invites destruction. These conflicting approaches create tension not just between humans and Transformers, but among humans themselves, turning Earth into a powder keg waiting for a spark. A new generation of Autobots is introduced, each representing a different philosophy shaped by war. Some believe in cooperation with humans, seeing them as partners who deserve protection and trust. Others view humanity as unpredictable and fragile, arguing that emotional attachment has weakened Autobot strategy. These ideological differences create friction within the Autobot ranks, challenging Optimus' authority in subtle but powerful ways. Loyalty is no longer guaranteed by shared colors or symbols. It must be earned through actions and belief. On the opposing side, the Decepticons are no longer united under a single banner. Without a clear supreme leader, they have splintered into factions driven by vengeance, survival, and twisted interpretations of Cybertronian destiny. One faction seeks total annihilation of Earth, believing the planet has become a prison that traps their kind in endless conflict. Another sees Earth as a resource-rich world that can be reshaped into a new Cybertron, regardless of the cost to human life. These competing goals make the Decepticons more unpredictable than ever, turning former allies into potential enemies. The plot unfolds as a mysterious signal is detected, one that predates the known history of Cybertron. This signal suggests that the Transformers' presence on Earth may not be accidental, but part of a much older design written into the fabric of the universe itself. As Autobots and Decepticons race to uncover the truth, the film introduces the idea that Cybertronian civilization was shaped by forces far greater than either faction understands. This revelation reframes the entire conflict, suggesting that the war may be less about ideology and more about manipulation. As the characters pursue this signal, the story moves across diverse environments, from hidden underground facilities filled with stolen technology to vast, desolate landscapes that bear the scars of previous battles. Each location feels purposeful, reflecting the themes of secrecy, exploitation, and forgotten history. The destruction is no longer just spectacle. It carries emotional weight, reminding viewers that every battle leaves permanent marks on the world and its people. One of the film's strongest elements is its focus on relationships, particularly the strained bond between Transformers and humans who have fought alongside them for years. Trust is fragile, tested by secrets and past betrayals. Some humans begin to question whether the Autobots are truly protectors or simply the lesser of two evils. These doubts create powerful dramatic moments where alliances feel uncertain and cooperation becomes a risk rather than a given. The emotional core of the story deepens as Optimus Prime confronts the consequences of his past decisions. Flashbacks and conversations reveal moments where victory came at the expense of innocent lives. Moments history tried to forget but memory refuses to erase. These reflections humanize Optimus in a profound way, portraying him not as an invincible icon, but as a leader who carries regret as heavily as his sense of duty. His journey becomes less about winning battles and more about redefining what leadership truly means. As the mystery behind the ancient signal unfolds, a new threat emerges, one that does not align with Autobots or Decepticons. This force represents an older order, a reminder that the Transformers' war is insignificant compared to the cosmic mechanisms that govern existence. Unlike previous villains, this threat is not driven by hatred or conquest, but by balance, seeing both humans and Transformers as variables to be corrected. Its presence shifts the tone of the film from a traditional war story to something more philosophical and unsettling. The action sequences in the movie reflect this shift, focusing less on endless explosions and more on strategic, high-stakes confrontations. Battles feel desperate rather than triumphant, with characters fighting not for dominance but for survival and understanding. Each clash pushes the story forward, revealing character motivations and deepening the sense of inevitability that surrounds the unfolding events. The human storyline gains emotional depth through characters who must confront the consequences of technological ambition. Some are forced to face the reality that their work, once intended to protect Earth, may have accelerated its path toward destruction. Others struggle with guilt, knowing that the line between defense and provocation has long been crossed. These personal conflicts mirror the larger themes of the film, emphasizing accountability and the dangers of unchecked power. As tensions rise, the Autobots are forced to make difficult choices that challenge their core values. Protecting Earth may require sacrifices that contradict everything they stand for, while refusing to act could lead to extinction on a global scale. These dilemmas create moments of quiet intensity, where characters must weigh lives against principles, survival against morality. The film does not offer easy answers, instead allowing the weight of these decisions to linger. The climax of the movie brings together all these threads in a confrontation that feels both massive and intimate. Autobots, Decepticons, humans, and the new cosmic threat collide in a struggle that transcends traditional warfare. The outcome is shaped not by raw power alone, but by understanding, cooperation, and the willingness to change. Characters who once saw each other as enemies are forced to recognize shared vulnerabilities and common goals, even if only temporarily. Rather than ending with absolute victory, the film chooses a more reflective resolution. The immediate threat is addressed, but the larger questions remain unresolved. Earth is saved, but not healed. The Autobots survive, but their future is uncertain. Humanity gains knowledge, but also a deeper awareness of how fragile its position truly is. This ending reinforces the idea that survival is not the same as peace, and that progress often comes with lingering consequences. In its final moments, the movie shifts focus toward the future, hinting at new possibilities rather than definitive conclusions. Optimus Prime emerges changed, no longer driven solely by war, but by a desire to break the cycle that has defined his existence. His closing reflections emphasize hope, not as a guarantee, but as a choice that must be made repeatedly, even in the face of uncertainty. Transformers 8 ultimately stands as a more mature chapter in the franchise, one that respects its explosive roots while daring to explore deeper themes of responsibility, legacy, and coexistence. It acknowledges the spectacle audiences expect, but grounds it in emotional stakes that give meaning to every transformation and every sacrifice. By blending action with introspection, the film offers a vision of the Transformers universe that feels expansive, thoughtful, and ready to evolve beyond the wars that once defined it.